Well, look, before you joined me, I had Alhaji Buba Galadima on the show, and he was touching on the political side of the conversation about the revenue reform bills that your committee prepared. He made a number of allegations. On the political plane, he said, look, northern leaders, elders, and everybody else, he chided me and said I should not keep using the word northern. I should just say people are opposed to the bills. He also made the allegation that your committee didn't agree on those reform bills. That in fact, it was something that was done through the back door, some kind of underhand tactics, and you just deceived Nigerians. And that there are members of that committee who have gone behind to say that they were not part of it. Are you guilty as charged? Did you give to the president something that was done under the table?
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. I watched part of the interview with the elder statesman, and I was concerned, actually, not only because of the allegations, but also the way he concluded. So first, you had some assumptions, you had allegations, and then you concluded. I thought that was quite unfair for the level of work we've put into this national assignment. So I'll tell you what we did. So the committee was set up on the 8th of August, 2023. And at a point, we had over 120 members from all the geopolitical zones. We have more than 20 government institutions represented. We have the private sector, whether it's manufacturers, whether it's women in business. We have 45 students from 22 universities across Nigeria. In addition to that, we had extensive engagement with the governors. I went to the governors forum. We wrote and wanted to meet with 6 governors, one from each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Until today, up until this moment, it's only the governor of Lagos State we were able to see. The other governor who was willing to welcome us was governor of Kaduna State. And then after all the logistics, we agreed the dates. On that day, he wasn't able to attend. It was the deputy governor that hosted us. I would not name the other governors, but I can actually if I need to. They didn't have time for us. The governors forum themselves invited us 4 times and cancelled 4 times. The 5th time, we were kept waiting till 1:30 a.m., middle of the night. By the time they had time for us, they said we had 15 minutes. And I said, Your Excellencies, we have a lot to talk about. They said, tell us how our revenues will go up. Even that we couldn't say in 15 minutes. We had half a day engagement with the finance commissioners from across Nigeria. We've had more than 4 engagements with the head of the Internal Revenue Service from all over Nigeria. We've had engagement with different groups, more than 40 sectors, from manufacturers to SMEs to fintech, and these things are published. So the way the committee was set up, because we had a lot of work to do, ideally the work we're given to do should take us about 4 years. But we knew that, number one, Nigeria does not have that luxury of time because we need to relieve the pain very quickly. And number 2, set Nigeria on the right path to development. The other important factor is a government is for 4 years. And you know this more than I do, Dr. Abati. If you don't get things done in the first 2.5 years, the rest of it is politicking. So what we did was, we said the only way we can get this job done is to break out into work groups. So we had 5 subcommittees. People were meeting every single day. There was a subcommittee meeting, sometimes till very late. Once every month, we come together physically and we all meet. And when we're done with the work of the subcommittees, we continue with only plenary. Every single subcommittee came and presented everything line by line, and they were debated. On a few issues, less than 5, we even voted. There was no one, that's not me, that's not who I am. Why on earth would I do such a thing? To ignore the reports of committees and then write my own? Nothing like that happened. And so it's unfortunate that he claimed that some members of our committee did that. And I'm sure he can't mention their names because there's nobody, unless on their own they just made up the story. Nothing like that happened. So that's the, in summary, the composition of the team and the way we try to engage. We had a 2-day retreat with the Senate. Almost every member of the Senate was in attendance. We had one with the House of Rep. It wasn't up to 2 days, a few hours. So now that the other important thing is the VAT distribution. So it seems to me like the more we explain it, the more people try not to understand it. Because a lot of people don't even understand the current position of the law. So they don't understand there's a problem we are trying to fix. They're using the problem we identified and told the world about and trying to fix, they're using that problem to blame us. It's almost like a complete opposite of what we're trying to do. Let me quickly explain what the problem is. The value-added tax was introduced in 1993 by the military. Implementation started in 1994. And that was to replace the sales tax that was being done by states before that time. It was introduced in 1986. Now, sales tax is a state tax. So VAT is equally a state tax. But the committee that was set up was headed by the late Ijewere, recommended that for VAT to be successful, the collection should be centralized. That's just the collection. Now, it was a lot more successful than sales tax. In 1999, when we got into the Fourth Republic, we needed a constitution. The people that went and put the constitution together pretty much replicated 1979. In 1979, there wasn't VAT. So in 1999, when they introduced the constitution, VAT was missing. But the government continued to collect VAT. Now, some states like Rivers State and Lagos State are in court saying that VAT should be collected by states because they feel that they are not getting enough for the contribution they are making into the VAT pot, and therefore, if they collect it as a state tax, they'll be better off. That is the equivalent of 100% derivation. For us, as we're working on these tax reforms, we said if we get states to start collecting VAT in Nigeria, it will be chaotic for business. Because we know for a fact that states in Nigeria will not respect input-output. They don't give you credit. You buy something in Kano, you bring it to Kaduna or to Lagos, good luck. So we said, how can we make everybody at least comfortable and then address the inequity? What did we identify? As of today, when companies remit their VAT, they tend to remit from their head office because that's where they have the finance department. So MTN, BUA, Dangote, Airtel, all the banks, most of them are headquartered in Lagos. Some of the oil companies are headquartered in Rivers State. By the way, the information you gave about Ogun State is totally wrong. Ogun State is not benefiting from anything.
No, he's saying that
yes,
it was the governor of Ogun State, the governor of Rivers State that colluded with you to impose this.
Yeah, so that is so unfortunate. Yeah, so unfortunate and so unfair.
So you say Ogun State is innocent.
So and it's so unfair to those people that he mentioned. Ogun State, even Lagos State is innocent. This is not the idea. Even Mr. President is innocent. This is just our committee's debate. And what problem are we trying to solve? So as of today, as we speak, so I said to you that there's no VAT in the Constitution. So the VAT law that we have today has how VAT should be shared. And that's in recognition that this VAT is not a federation account revenue. It is the state revenue that is being collected centrally. So by law, the Value Added Tax Act has a formula for sharing it. And it says 20% based on derivation. The rest of it is based on equality and population. We decided in this reform that we cannot continue with old tax laws. Some of them are older than Nigeria's independence. We said, let's repeal all those laws and reenact new ones. So which means the VAT law would go. A new VAT will be enacted. In this new VAT bill, if we don't put the sharing formula there will be no sharing formula for VAT because that's the only place where it is. It's not like we love to do sharing formula. Then we said in the process, why don't we correct two things? Number one, when those companies remit their VAT, all of it is credited to Lagos. as VAT derived from Lagos. We said that is wrong. Let's do the derivation properly. It should not be where the VAT is remitted. It should be the place where the consumption took place. So which means for MTN, they will tell us consumption in Kano, in Jigawa, in Kwara, in Ekiti. The banks will tell us, even though their head offices are in Lagos, they will tell you where the branches and the customers are based. Dangote will tell you where they sent the cement to. If you do that, you don't need to ask for any data. The biggest loser will be Lagos State, because you are changing what is benefiting Lagos today to benefit everyone else. That's number one. So correct the lopsided attribution of VAT so that it goes to the state of consumption. We then said number two, once this correction has been done, let every state keep 60% of what they generate. To be honest, we were so proud of ourselves, like we're going to be commended by everyone, and we thought we were only going to have an issue with Lagos State, explaining to them why their revenue has to go down from VAT.
Okay, but the president now, the media is saying, is sending emissaries to, governors in the northern part of the country to talk to them. Isn't that mismessaging?
I think,
what is he sending emissaries for? If the thing is as clear and as straightforward as you have made it.
I watched the media chat, which you even moderated. So there were two comments that Mr. President made. His first point is that we have to do tax reforms. We cannot continue with the laws of colonial era and hope that Nigeria will become a developed country. This tax system is holding us back. He said that. Then after a few other questions, someone asked the question again about whether he's willing to move and make compromises. And he said yes. So his point is we have to carry out tax reform. That is what is not negotiable. Otherwise, that would be missing out on a significant opportunity to move Nigeria forward. But in terms of the details of those bills, everything is off for debate. In fact, I can tell you as we speak today, if they want us to keep the current VAT formula, we will keep it 100%. So the fact that people keep using the problem we are trying to solve against us is what I don't understand. We are saying today, Lagos State is getting the benefit for calls made in Kano, in Kwara, in Ekiti. And we say, let's change that. And then you come out and say, they want to take what we are doing in Kano to Lagos. But that's what is happening today. We are trying to solve a problem. Mr. President is willing to discuss and negotiate. What Mr. President doesn't want is to say we cannot do tax reform anymore. By the way, we have 4 bills. All the issues and the controversy is in one bill. That one bill has more than 100 provisions. What they are disagreeing with is about 1 or 2. How on earth would the solution to disagreeing with 2 sections of the law be to withdraw 4 bills that are transformative? Why don't we discuss those things and then present it to the lawmakers, and then they will make a call as to what the final position should be? So sometimes it appears as if people are using this as a proxy fight to do something else. Otherwise, the problem they identified and the solution that they prefer are totally at variance.